Now, I've had a little rant about daycares being way too expensive, but let's talk about individual babysitters for a minute. When I got to the point of deciding, you know what, I'm just going to work for myself full time from home, I cannot work for another person, it was largely because of childcare costs. At that point, I had 2 young children, and if something happened, like at that time, I was married to a soldier, so he might get called in, unexpectedly. So I would be scrambling to find somebody to watch my children so I could go clock in at a physical job. And individual people, would come back with these insane quotes, and they'd be like, oh, I'll watch your kids from anywhere between $10 an hour to $20 an hour per child. So we're talking $20 to $40 an hour for childcare for an 8-hour work shift plus transportation, so more like 9 hours. And I'm sitting there going, honey, I appreciate you reaching out to me, but I'm making $9 an hour at a retail store. How do you expect me to be able to afford to pay you? This isn't like my rich husband taking me on a date night. I have to go to work for a little tiny bit above minimum wage. It is literally more cost effective for me to call off work. And sometimes the person would come back and be like, oh, okay, how about $6 an hour for both kids? And still, it's like at that point, if I'm making $8, $9 an hour and I have to pay $6 an hour for childcare, even though that's a much more reasonable price, it doesn't make it worthwhile for me to work. That's not covering my rent and utilities and transportation and food. It's not making a situation where I can survive and thrive. And so when people tell you that they're too poor to work, these are the kind of issues that are coming up. So please quit dogging on state-funded childcare. If you want people out there and working and earning their keep, then they have to have fundamental ways to survive while doing that. Right now, most of us do not have that. Even in a household with 2 parents working and earning money right now, housing and food and everything else is so expensive. Even the cost of cars have dramatically risen. There's no way that you can have children and afford to frickin' survive. And if you're one of those people going, well, I do it, or I did it on $6 an hour back in the 70s. Okay, those days are long gone. And if you are able to get by now on nothing and no help whatsoever, you are an absolute liar. Sorry to call you out.